Good evening and welcome to Rock Center. And before we get to the stories we have for you tonight, we want to begin with this evening's still breaking news, a murder charge in the shooting death of Trayvon Martin. Tonight, George Zimmerman is in police custody. This new mugshot of him has just been released by Florida's Seminole County Jail. This case, you'll recall, went from being ignored initially, pushed along by really a few people via social media, to becoming part of our national conversation. Tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, the special prosecutor in this case, Angela Corey, announced in Jacksonville she has filed second-degree murder charges against George Zimmerman, the armed neighborhood watch volunteer who shot 17-year-old Trayvon Martin back on February 26th.
Those of us in law enforcement are committed to justice for every race, every gender, every person of any persuasion whatsoever. They are our victims. We only know one category as prosecutors, and that's a V. It's not a B, it's not a W, it's not an H, it's V for victim. That's who we work tirelessly for. And that's all we know is justice for our victims.
The special prosecutor tonight in Jacksonville. And with us now from Washington, D.C. are the parents of Trayvon Martin. I know it's been another long and emotional day for you folks, and we won't keep you long. I'd like to start with a question to Trayvon's mom, and that is this. Does this meet the goal you have set from the beginning? This has been such a long campaign for you.
I was never specific in what charges. I just wanted him arrested. And I left it to Ms. Corey's office to determine what charges would be more severe. And those are the ones that they determined. So I just wanted to arrest. We just wanted him brought to justice and some type of accountability for the murder of our son.
And Mr. Martin, all along you've been saying, as lawyers put it, you wanted this to happen on the merits. You wanted an arrest to happen based on the evidence and not emotion, which of course is substantial in this case. Does this meet your goal?
Yes, it does, because from the onset, we've always felt that there was a substantial amount of evidence for an arrest. And the special prosecutor proved us to be right.
And Sabrina, one more question to you. What do you make of the special prosecutor in this case? What sense do you have of her?
I just believe that she's a professional. I believe there is a human side to her. I believe she looked at the evidence, spoke with the witnesses, and determined what he should be charged with.
Well, folks, I want to thank you very much. Again, I know what you've been through. This has been just another long, long day for you. Counselor, thank you very much for allowing us to talk to your clients. Appreciate it very much. And now we want to turn to the new lawyer for the accused, appointed really just a few hours ago. Mark O'Mara has been hired to defend George Zimmerman. He's been kind enough to join us from his office in Orlando. And, Counselor, have you met with your client yet? Have you spoken with your client yet?
Yes, I've spoken to him several times.
What do you make of him?
Firstly, let me truly offer my sincere condolences to the Martin family. However it may turn out that it happened, they've suffered truly a horrible tragedy in the loss of a child, and I mean that from the heart. I feel for them and what they're going through. As far as Mr. Zimmerman, certainly he is troubled by the charges that were filed, but we will deal with them. We'll deal with the process.
I know this is your first television interview since talking to a group of media at a press conference format earlier today. And I also know that one of your other jobs, you're a veteran lawyer there in Central Florida, is as on-air legal analyst for a competitor affiliate there of ours in Orlando. The conversation lately in Florida, of course, and around the country has involved this case. You were asked recently about this stand your ground law, which is going to become a critical part of this. And quoting others, you said that some in Florida have referred to it over the years as the license to murder statute. And I'm guessing you are prepared for a full-bore defense on that angle.
Certainly, self-defense seems to have presented itself as part of the one facet of the defense. And yes, the hold your ground statute, which sort of statute authorizes or codifies the standard of self-defense in Florida is going to be one of the things that we're going to look into.
Even against an unarmed teenager?
Well, we have to look at what the statute says. That is presently the law in Florida. It may be up for review because of this case, but presently that statute basically says if a person is in reasonable fear of imminent great bodily injury or death, they can react to it. We need to see what the facts say to support which way it happened.
And final word from you, Counselor, will this make it to trial?
I have no idea yet. Ms. Corey has had an opportunity to review the evidence and make her decision. I've not had that yet, so we're going to wait to see what happens, and we'll decide along the way whether it's conversations with the prosecutor, motions that may attend to the case, a resolution short of trial, or trial.
Mark O'Mara, attorney who has
to make that decision.
Mark O'Mara has a prominent new client, and again, a long day for you as well. Thank you very much for agreeing to spend some time with us tonight, Counselor. And that brings us to yet another lawyer, but a member of our family, our chief legal correspondent, Savannah Guthrie. You and I were on the air when these charges were announced late today, and you made 2 points, that other than premeditated murder one, as the cop shows call it, this was the toughest they could do, but also tough to prove.
Incredibly tough to prove. I've actually been looking further at second-degree murder, and one of the things the prosecutors have to prove is the mental state of George Zimmerman. A depraved mind is the way Florida law puts it. Something done from ill will, hatred, spite, or an evil intent. If the prosecutor feels she can establish that beyond a reasonable doubt, I'd be very interested to see what evidence she now has that she thinks supports this second-degree murder charge. And the thing to remember here is when facts are ambiguous, when you have conflicting witness statements, when you have questionable medical evidence, in our system, a tie in the evidence, the benefit of the doubt goes to the accused. It's innocent until proven guilty, so we have a long road ahead of us.
Savannah, thank you throughout this case for your advice on this. Appreciate you being here tonight.